Time now for the Educated Retirement Show with your host, Jay Kaplan. Jay discusses reverse mortgages and can answer your questions at 951-922-3532. Call lines are open at 951-922-3532. And now here's Jay.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm a little hesitant to be using the Dr. Heckham moniker right now for what I think is probably obvious reasons. So I won't. But in spite of all that, I will let you know that that is how to find me anyway. Okay? You know how to find me. And I think we need to do some finding of each other these days. So I think you'll agree on that. So here we are on the Educated Retirement Radio. And that's right here on KMET, 1490 AM, where we contemplate retirement, how to best prepare for that retirement, and how to best stay happily retired. So you know me, and I'm really so happy to know you, perhaps not all personally, but as a group. And as a group, I have the privilege to connect with each week. So let's be thankful we have friends, and let's keep talking to them. Now, I'm using a lot of video talking like Zoom, Hangouts, and Skype more than ever, and I think that's a great thing. I know before all this time of, self-separation, we really didn't want to use it. I did for meetings and business, but otherwise I didn't want to. Who wants to see me, you know? And I even had to comb my hair and things like that. But now I think it's much, much better. So I think we should all try to visit each other more that way than ever before, because I think it's important to see people and to keep talking to everyone that you know, and keep talking to them before we all go nuts. And when all of this is over, let's keep trying to do the same. Now, I think for the guests in the future, I'm going to start bringing some more and more people on to talk about how to best handle the recovery. I heard something from one of the celebrity chefs the other day, kind of ad-libbing this out of memory. Bobby Flay, who is not my favorite. I know my wife goes nuts when she hears that Beat Bobby Flay thing, but he had said something about everybody really needs to get ready to run through the thickest brick wall they've ever had. So kind of good advice there. So remember, we're not slowing down. We're just conserving energy. So in the meantime, call, email, or visit www.theeducatedretirementradio.com, or just email me if you think that's easier. bestloantoday@gmail.com. Be sure to jump over to the YouTube channel's link about halfway down that first page. There's a lot there, including all the shows and separate segments of the guests, as well as some of the more interesting short snippets. And please subscribe while you're there. There are pages in that on that webpage, of that website, that are very professionally written, of course not all by me, and a lot on that site to look over. I just started, I think you remember Phil Walker was one of our really, really great guests, talking about why everybody should be looking at a reverse mortgage not as a need, but as something you really want to protect your investments. And of course, last week, Tom Hegna on the right way to invest and to keep what you have. So, but Phil Walker told me about a new, a new, now without a huge price of $36,000, way to do some more editing. So I've been messing around with that and putting those, I just put the first one of those. I did a kind of a artsy look at the toilet paper and vodka thing again. with some different music. Mazzy Star is in there, and it's still only 2 minutes long. So check it out and let me know what you think. But ask me for a free look at what will work for you so you can decide if you want it to work. Education's the reason. No cost, no obligation, fast and easy. But you got to know what your choices are. Give me a call, 866-955-2233. 866-955-2233, and knowledge is power. So when it comes to the heck'em or reverse, know the facts, compare the numbers. It is much too important an issue to ignore, and you certainly don't want to eliminate it based on not fully understanding it. Remember that equity availability programs like this, it's not a belief system. It's just math and good sense. Gives you more flexibility, security, and that's that. So remember, bestloantoday@gmail.com or 866-955-2233. Now, hang on. On today's show, we will be singing in the rain with the mole people in Lake Baikal while watching Citizen Kane. And all of this on the day the world ended, and you thought it already had. See? So me, I'm not retired, not at all. I need a lot of guests to help us with our answers. We will discuss tools to make retirement better, easier, more productive. And remember, I do have a day job. I know, thank God I do. Let me tell you about that day job right now. I think, for a while, everybody was just jumping up and down about the rates. All the rates are going down and down and down. Well, I think the first time in my life I saw them go down too fast, and panic fell in, and the mortgage market is kind of now frozen. And we'll get over it. So we'll do a lot more reporting on that in the very near future, and we'll know a lot more. And we'll know a lot more just by hanging out for another week or two. So I need all of your questions, your input, and your ideas as to subjects to talk about, be it in the heck'em or anything else. So let's talk about how to enjoy the day and prove ourselves. And of course, we can talk about UFOs and we don't have to, we can even go as far as Bigfoot. We don't have to just talk about mortgages. But we do believe in challenging the status quo, and families need to be active, not proactive. And today is Spanish Paella Day, and we're lucky enough to have someone from the Spanish consulate here to explain it to us. Yeah. Where's my picture? Oh, okay. Let me serve up some just to show you. I'm about to eat all of that, or maybe just chew the piece of paper. Anyway, here is our guest from the Spanish consulate, but I'll keep this picture up for you.
Okay, the National Spanish Paella Day, is that how you pronounce it?
Well, you're Spanish, you should tell me.
Okay. It originally was created in Spain, mid-19th century, when workers in the fields would make the dish in a flat pan over a fire. They mixed in whatever they could find, such as rabbits, snails. Oh, I love snails. Here's a snail for you.
Oh, all right. Thank you. So we're going to put the snail on the plate here.
And then later, chicken was added. There you go.
Well, chicken. Okay. Well, thank you very much. You can go back to Spain now. And in the meantime, we're going to take a break. So don't go too far away. Thanks a lot. Stay with us. Oh, yeah. My favorite music that Sean picked out for me. Thank you, Sean. So actually, I should have warned you, and we could have done some Sun Records stuff, because I'll be talking about that a little bit later. But so be it. So welcome back to the Educated Retirement Radio here on your home planet, KMET 1490, the mighty Met. So the educatedretirementradio.com, or of course www.drhecm.com. My phone number anytime, 866-955-2233, or bestloantoday@gmail.com. Why? Because you need to know more about the choices you really have and how to protect what you already have. I have a team of experts that can and will help you. So please make use of us all. Call me and we can direct you to anyone who you've heard on this show and more. Last week, as you've probably forgotten, was my birthday on last Friday. This Friday, it is the birthday of Richard Denning. 1914 is when he popped into our atmosphere, and he flew away in 1998. And after earning his master's degree in business, he got a PhD in mastering monsters, such as classics like Unknown Island, Creature from the Black Lagoon. Now wait a minute, we gotta show you that. Okay. Now, I don't know if you can hear. That means that it still works. Okay. And do want to show you. I even have the box in case anybody at American Pickers is looking for a good toy with a box. So, Creature from the Black Lagoon. That movie, by the way, Creature from the Black Lagoon, was born out of a Citizen Kane dinner party. Remember Orson from Musso and Frank's? We had lunch with him a few times back in the show. He invited a guy named William Allen, which was actually in the movie, and a guy who had an idea for a film came along, a guy by the name of Gabriel Figueroa, and Figueroa claimed it was a true story he heard while on or around the Amazon River. So I don't know about the Amazon, but in 1982 in Russia at Lake Baikal, humans were with hybrid humans when they were ordered to catch one, when the Russians were ordered by their superiors to catch one of these hybrid humans. Some Russian divers ended up dying out of that. Pretty famous case. It brings us to the mole people and other underwater and under the ground people. But anyway, this guy, William Allen, was the newsreel director and voice of the news film in Citizen Kane. And from there, he went on to be the horror producer for Universal in the 1950s and thereabouts. He did the 3 Black Lagoon films, and we just showed you our hero from the Black Lagoon. It Came from Outer Space, which was written by, what's his name? I forgot, the Martian Chronicles guy. And Deadly Mantis, This Island Earth. He really did that one, huh? Yeah? So you can say yes out loud. It's okay.
Sure.
This Island was a much larger budget film. It was really, really pretty good. The Mole People. And I think I've shown this prized possession to you before. Here is a Mole People. Now, I found this at a swap meet, Santa Fe Springs swap meet, as a matter of fact. I can't believe it. The guy selling it had no idea what it was. I love that movie. It's stupid. We talked about it when we talked about John Agar, as you recall. But so be it. Well, let's get back to, the Space Children, which I have no clue about. And then he also did The Colossus of New York and so many more. But back to Richard Denning, he did Target Earth, Day the World Ended, The Black Scorpion, Creature with the Atomic Brain. I've got a lot of these. I could show the covers, but here's Unknown Island, which we passed and I forgot to show you. Okay. And here is Creature from the Black Lagoon, which I know I've shown you before, and that's okay. Sudden Fear was another one that was done. Let me see who was nice. And that's that. Now, he was married to, of course, we're talking about Richard Denning, was married to Evelyn Ankers, Ankers, who was featured in the original Wolfman from Universal in 1941. But it said that she and Lon Chaney Jr. did not get along at all, but who would like a pervert like Lon Chaney Jr., who spied on her with his telescope. He had this big telescope for the sky, and it was, he was looking up at the stars, and instead it's looking into her window. Well, all right. Also on this birthday, a fellow by the name of Charles Lang popped in 1902, popped out in 1998. So he was one of Hollywood's most famous cinematographers. So, we sometimes don't give cinematographers, sometimes we do, all the credit. But what is a cinematographer? He is the chief over the camera and light crews working on a film. He's not, as so many people think, the guy running around with a camera, although he can and does time to time. But he is responsible for making all the artistic decisions related to anything that has to do with the image. So he won a Lifetime Award Achievement from the American Society of Cinematographers. When you see movies, it has somebody's name, it has ASC next to it usually, or BSC for the British, whatever. That's American Society of Cinematographers. And he was the cinematographer on 114 films, including Some Like It Hot, which I think we've seen 300 times. So there, again, I'm showing laser discs, although I still haven't gotten rid of them because they're just kind of cool to have, a big thing. And he also did The Magnificent Seven, Stella by Starlight, The Uninvited, which I thought had great music. You remember it's kind of a jazz classic now, Stella by Starlight. He did The Magnificent Seven, Wait Until Dark, and How the West Was Won. He was one of 4 cinematographers. And How the West Was Won is kind of interesting because it was Cinerama. We got this little book we went to see a revival of a Cinerama at the Cinedome, but, it's very widescreen. I'm not sure whether they're still set up to actually do the 3-strip Cinerama or not. But here's another Cinerama. Oh, I have a hat here too. Excuse me. I need to get into uniform here. Okay. And we got that. Got, just to show you how much of this there is around. And that. And on that, we will take a short break. So don't go away, and we'll come back and you'll start to sing in the rain. Take it away, Sean. Thanks. What do you mean, not fishy? I like fishy. I like fishing. I don't necessarily like being interrupted by catching one, but, when it comes to eating fish and the way they taste and the way it makes the house smell, send me in. 1952, on this day in history, And welcome back to The Educated Retirement. But on 1952, Singing in the Rain premiered at Radio City Music Hall in New York City. I haven't been to Radio City Music Hall in 22 years, maybe more. I know about that. Maybe 21, 22 years. So yeah, we saw Tony Bennett there, who was, I think it was his 70th birthday or something, and he sang like 2.5 hours without stopping. And that was after Squirrel Nut Zippers, where everybody was dancing in the aisles. But anyway, he put on a much better show than most people do, of that age or younger, and much longer. So Mitchell is watching. Hello, Mitchell. Anyway, Singing in the Rain, the scene of Gene Kelly, who was also the director of Singing in the Rain, it took 7 days to film that scene, and each day with 6 hours of fake rain. So much of the choreography was actually made up as he went along. Now, on the other things like the ballet scene and things like that, Gene always made sure that he and Sid Charisse were never up close unless the camera angle was such that you really couldn't tell that she was taller than he was. I guess that was important then. I don't think it's quite as important anymore, but so be it. But that movie, Singing in the Rain, we went into this a couple weeks ago, that really is Hollywood. So this is a real love letter to Hollywood, not that other film that I don't want to mention anymore because it's gotten too much mention already. But this film really about Hollywood and making movies. And one more time. Just to show that one scene, if nothing else, because, I love that scene. Seen the movie 100 times, seen that scene, the 10 minutes of singing, probably 300 times. So Arthur Freed was co-produced that film and did so to showcase his own music, amongst other things. So he won Best Movie Academy Awards for Gigi and An American in Paris. Also an uncredited producer of Wizard of Oz. And in that same year, 1952, there was Sun Records. Yeah. Just to show you, here's Sun Records, which we know now. Sun Records rose over the landscape by Sam Phillips. Sun Records produced more rock and roll records than anyone else of its time, producing over 226 singles alone. Here's the thingy of a single. I don't know if you can see that much, but I don't, I looked for some records themselves, but no deal. But, there were some other people. Now, don't tell me, I know that this is not a Sun record, okay? This is Elvis, but this was a great reissue engineered by Steve Hoffman, who did a wonderful job. In any case, he was an early investor, this guy, Sam Phillips. He was an early investor in Holiday Inn chain of hotels, owned a lot of radio stations. I don't think this one, right, Sean? And
I hope
advocated
not.
for racial equality. And amongst others, he discovered Elvis Presley, Johnny Cash, Jerry Lee Lewis, Roy Orbison, B.B. King, Conway. And with that, I think I'll Twitter off.